Very consistently over the past 3 years, I have found a way to film 4 YouTube videos in just a few hours if we're including setup time. For not including setup time, it's more like 2 hours to actually film the video. So I'm gonna share with you in this YouTube video exactly how I do that and how I am basically batch filming my YouTube content on one day every month. So I'm not having to film every single week. And real quick, if you're also interested in making money from YouTube, we have a new freebie that is my exact formula to making money on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, the link will be in the description of this video. There are 3 main steps that I think are really important to making a YouTube filming day a success and making it super time effective for you. And the first one is to prepare ahead of time. Okay, so you can't show up and not having done any preparation and think, oh, like I'm just gonna be able to film in a few hours, think of stuff on the fly, and it's gonna be great. That's not exactly how it works. The goal with preparing ahead of time should be that whenever you sit down to actually film a YouTube video, that you don't have to do any more prep work. Like you've done all the work ahead of time to prepare and you just have to be in the headspace of filming your YouTube videos. So essentially this means, researching your video ideas, writing an outline for each video that you are going to create. We just did a YouTube video on how I write those outlines. If you're interested, we'll put a link right up here and in the description if you want to head there after this video. This also means preparing anything else that you might need. For example, if there are anything physical that you want to show, like any products or anything like that, having those handy. Maybe it's preparing ahead in the sense of making sure you're familiar with a program that you're gonna do a tutorial on, like knowing where you're going with that. That can be really handy to just look into ahead of time, make sure you have available and have it handy. You're logged in, you're good to go. So whenever you sit down to film, you're not scrambling trying to get all of that set up. The second thing that's really important here is to simply plan a date to film, right? Make sure you put it on your calendar. I always schedule out 3 hours on my calendar to film YouTube videos. And nowadays, now that I'm a mom, my time is so limited that typically I have about 3 hours of work time in a day. So that typically means that whenever I am filming YouTube videos, I'm spending that full 3 hours, preparing, setting up my lighting, setting up my camera, sitting down and actually filming videos. So putting it on the calendar really helps to remind me and to prepare me that I have a YouTube filming day scheduled for that day. It also helps me because for me, I want to make sure like I wash my hair the day before and I'm not like on day 4 of greasy hair. So just things like that can be really, really helpful here. And with that filming date, like I mentioned, it usually takes me about 3 hours from start to finish. So like today, I started filming around 11 a.m. It's currently 12:10 p.m. This is actually the 4th video that I am filming. And then after this, I need to take everything down. So that didn't include me getting my hair and makeup done, which took an additional like 45 minutes. So all in all, this day will take about 3 hours, which is what I anticipate whenever I'm going to film YouTube videos. So what I actually do too with putting this on my calendar is it's basically like a recurring date that, I just go and add to my calendar at least once a month. And if I need to move that around as it gets closer to a different day of the week, I totally can. I really do like to prefer doing it earlier in the week than later, because if I wake up and there's days where I am just not feeling it, or maybe my girls were up all night and there's no way I'm just gonna be able to focus on filming a YouTube video, then I can move it to a later date in the week and it's not as big of a deal versus having to push it to the next week if it's already like scheduled for a Friday. So that's the only other thing I will say, and I would just add it to the calendar. Like usually at the beginning of a year, I'll add like at least one date every single month so that I can make sure that I am consistent with filming every month. And once I do that filming day, like I don't have to think about filming YouTube videos for this channel for the rest of the month. And I cannot tell you how freeing that is to be able to film everything in one sitting and then not have to think about it for literally an entire month. Besides having, of course, to prepare those outlines again a few weeks later for the next set of YouTube videos. All right, and then thirdly here, to helping making a filming day a success, I have a list of just a bunch of tips that are really helpful to know whenever you go into filming YouTube videos, and to just, whether it's the way that you approach it or the way you structure it and all those different things. The first tip I have here is set up your camera and your lighting and your background setup first before you even do your hair and makeup. For me, I found a lot of times that if I did my hair and makeup and I felt like once I was done doing that and like had my outfit on and everything, I felt so ready to and just like pumped to go ahead and start filming and start talking and sharing. And whenever I still had to, set up my camera, my lighting, especially when I was newer and that stuff was just a little more stressful than it is now. Nowadays, I have it down to a pat where it's just not a big deal, but especially in the early days, I know like for me, setting all that up and getting it done before I get myself ready really allowed me to just do it more comfortably, and it was a lot less stressful than feeling like I was ready to go, but I was like waiting on myself to try to figure out all the technicalities of like setting up my camera again. And another thing here is especially back to before I had kids and my time was not as limited, whenever I would have more like those 6 or 7, 8-hour work days, I would for sure make it the first part of my work day. So like first thing I was doing was waking up, setting up my lighting and my camera, and then I was getting myself ready, and then I was filming YouTube videos first thing. And if that was the only thing I really got done that day, I was fine with that because it does take a lot of your energy to show up on camera for that long. And personally, I found I can't batch more than that. Like usually 4, maybe 5 videos is usually my max before like I just feel like I'm not showing up well on camera anymore. And that's gonna be different for every person, but you can find your sweet spot. And if that does mean filming once a week because you can only film 1 video at a time, that is okay. And if you're able to do that, that is okay too. But essentially, make sure that you make it like the first part of your workday whenever you feel the most fresh, and just know that it's gonna be more of like a deep work task because it takes a lot of your mental focus too. Like whenever I am done filming YouTube videos, I'm just like zapped. Like my mental energy is done. A few other tips as well: have some snacks and a drink handy so you don't have to like pause and go somewhere else to get that. Just helps you to save time. Have the outlines like pulled up on either your phone, an iPad, a computer. I have mine on my computer off to the side. I've also used like my phone in my lap or an iPad off to the side in the past. I also really prefer when I'm doing YouTube videos to really just film them all like back to back to back and try not to take breaks in between videos too much. I will usually pause and upload the footage in between each video to my computer just to make sure like it turned out good and I don't film a bunch of videos and have the mic not working, because that may or may not have happened to me before. But yeah, so I just try to do them like back to back as much as I possibly can, and I find that helps me to just go and get them all done so that I don't have to keep pausing and then feeling like it's taking all of my day. And something else to go along with that, something that really does help me whenever I am filming YouTube videos, is I try to just not overthink it. I feel like in the beginning I tried to overthink it and make the way that I was saying certain things way too like perfect and redoing things over and over, and I found that honestly it makes it feel more genuine, like conversational, whenever I'm not overthinking it and not redoing things all the time. But it's not that you can't pause and like re-say something, because I totally do that all the time, but just trying to not do that as much as you can and not overthink it too much. It will make not only filming faster, but make your editing time way faster and way easier. If you haven't gotten that freebie yet on my exact formula to making money on YouTube, be sure to do that and head there now. I'm sharing basically my exact strategy to how I'm generating affiliate income, digital product income, online course income, YouTube AdSense income, all from YouTube. And you don't have to do it with a bunch of subscribers either. So be sure to head there if you haven't already. Also subscribe because we upload new videos every Tuesday. And I'd love for you guys to stick around. This month of May, we're actually doing videos all about just how to grow on YouTube. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to subscribe because we're going to do a ton of videos this month about it, but also just in the future incorporating a lot of these videos. If you have anything you would love to see coming up around that topic, be sure to drop a comment below, ask your questions, and we can cover that in a future YouTube video. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you in next week's video. Bye guys.